Welcome to the challenge review. Let's go ahead and make our player explode. So just like we did with our enemy, we're going to go ahead and click on our scripts folder here. We're going to open up our player. We're going to add our explosion effect. So here we'll go ahead and say private game object for our explosion prefab. And we need to serialize it so we can see it in the inspector. We'll go ahead and assign that now. So here's our player. Let's go ahead and drag that in. So it's looking for the explosion prefab right here. Also, there are two ways to add a prefab to an object like this. So for instance, I can drag and drop the explosion here. I could also just have, there's that little circle with a dot right next to this. When I click on that, it also opens up my asset view. And what I can do here is I can actually select the explosion from here as well. Whichever method you choose, it doesn't really matter. I personally prefer to just drag and drop from the project view. So my explosion's there. Save your scene so it stays there. And let's go ahead and explode it when I die. So here, when the player dies, we destroy this game object, and before we do that, we're going to say instantiate explosion prefab at my position. And I don't care about rotation, so we do quaternion.identity. Default rotation or no rotation. Okay, well, that should be it. Let's go ahead and save this, check it out. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and set my lives to 1 in the inspector so that when I get hit by this spaceship, we should both explode. And there you go. Check out that insanely cool effect. Now check this out. Why is it looping like that? The reason it's looping like that is because by default, our animation is set to loop. So click on the explosion and set the loop time to not be checked. Save your scene, test it out again, and everything should be functioning as normal. I'm going to set my lives to 1, and let's go ahead and get hit by the enemy. And there you go. Now you have a pretty awesome effect. Now, you may notice that there's a little bit of clipping going on when both the player and the enemy collide. So to fix this, what I think we can do is we can go ahead and click on your explosion for the player and change the order and layer to 1. And let's go ahead and see how that looks. By setting it to 1, it should be on top of the enemy's explosion. So if we go ahead and explode, and there you go. Much better. Now you don't have both of those animations kind of Z fighting for who's on top. So definitely go ahead and just set the order and layer to 1 so that the player will be on top. Okay. Now what I want to do, guys, is that's going to wrap up this challenge review. Hope you guys learned something. You guys are doing excellent. I hope you guys are really impressed with what you've done so far. In the next section, we're going to go ahead and set up our shields. I'll see you guys later.